Okay, I am Maxius Slight and welcome back to the Introduction to Space Engineers tutorial series. In the last video we looked at how to set up your game in the menus and everything like that. And now when we left that one you were ready to press start. So let's press start. I've already set the game going, so I'm just going to press continue. When you load into the game, depending on which options you chose to begin with, you'll be facing very different scenery. Okay, I have chose the red ship start in space, so I am in space, and this is an easy start, but it's got a lot of things that I can use here to tell you lots of things later on. Now, the menus and the controls and everything in the UI that I'm going to tell you now is going to be the same regardless of which start you use. So the overlay that you see in front of you is the heads-up display, or the HUD. And that is broken up with lots and lots of information that's going to help you. But we're going to start over in the bottom left corner. Okay, and if I press escape, I can't do that. So the bottom left corner, we can see there are 4 tabs. The first one is a helmet, and that helmet tells you whether your visor is up or down. If it is highlighted, as it is now, your helmet visor is down and you are using your suit's oxygen supply while that is down. Okay, next to that, that helmet visor is toggled with the J key by default. There you go. Okay, next to that is the jetpack key, and that one is to the right of the helmet, and that is to say whether your jetpack is on or off. If it is grayed out as it is now, it is off. If it's highlighted, it is on. It's pretty much the same for most of the icons. To toggle that on and off is X, and now you can see that it came on when I press that button. That's just, again, it goes off. To the right of that one, oh sorry, on the thing of jetpack can run out of fuel, which I'll cover in a minute. So it will stay highlighted if your jetpack is on, but it will burn fuel when you use it. Okay. So next to the jetpack is I managed to get this working. I can't remember how I did it now. So anyway, this is the helmet, this is the jetpack, and this is the broadcast. Now, is broadcasting on or off? If it's highlighted, you are broadcasting. If it's not, you're not. This helps in multiplayer. For your friends to see a little icon as to where you are, if you're in range. Don't worry, enemy ones, even if it's turned off, will show up red. So you'll always see the enemy. And that is toggled on by the O key for Oscar. So you can see here, it's off, it's on. Okay, give me 1 second. And then we have next to that the lights. It looks like a little torch. It looks like a little torch. That one is your suit lights. You have a very powerful set of suit lights to help you in dark areas, and that's toggled by the L key for lights. Very cool, huh? Alright, below that set of tabs there, you have 4 bars. As you can see, they are segmented bars, and some will be grayed out, some will be highlighted. Again, if it's highlighted, it's there, it's not highlighted, then it's not there. So the top one is your health. Okay, you can say if I take off if I open my helmet, my health there went down. You see? So once that reaches 0, you die. Below that is the O2, and that line there shows how much suit oxygen I have. Now, very important to note here, above the O2 bar, you can see a little oxygen bottle, little bottle icon. That tells me that I have an oxygen bottle in my inventory, which will refill automatically my suit's oxygen when it reaches 0. So you consume oxygen by having your helmet down in a non-oxygen environment, such as where we are now in space. So I will slowly consume oxygen. Below that is the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is suit power. Okay, power is used for when you're using tools, where your radar, your suit uses it for jetpack, but jetpack has fuel, but it does need to have power to spark the thrusters and so on. But most importantly, there is environmental hazards. So if it's really, really cold, your suit will keep you warm. If it's below freezing outside, such as it is in space, your suit will maintain you. If you lose your energy of your suit, then the environmental hazards will come through and they will cause you problems. So if it's excessively hot, excessively cold, it could actually kill you, and so on and so on. So keep an eye on your suit health. Below that is hydrogen, H2. Again, it's got a bar which shows you how much hydrogen you have, and above it is a bottle icon. You can carry hydrogen bottles, again, to replenish your suit supply of hydrogen. Hydrogen is used for your jetpack. When you run out of hydrogen, your jetpack will no longer work. You do not want to run out of hydrogen 150 feet up, because that will hurt. Okay, so to the right of that, those bars and that tab and everything like that, is a semicircular, segmented display. With below that is 0.0 meters per second. That is your speedometer. As you increase in speed, so the bars will fill up, and it will tell you below how fast you are going. That also tells you how fast you're going if you're on a ship that's moving. So it will indicate the speed if you're inside of a moving ship. Okay. So next to that is a very important key, and that is your dampeners. Your inertia dampeners, you can see there is a triangle with a exclamation point on it, and it says below it dampeners on or off. If your dampeners are on, it will be grayed out. If they're off, it will be red. Now, what inertia dampeners are is if you are, let me just go on my jetpack, and I push forward, now you can see I'm speeding up. If I let go of the controls with the inertia dampeners on, it will counter thrust. Okay, so it will brake thrust. So I can go that way, let go, and my speed goes to 0, like so. However, if I turn the inertia dampeners off, you can see that turn red, and now go forward at 10 meters or 18 meters a second. I've let go of controls now. I'm no longer accelerating, but I am moving at 18 meters per second. Okay? And if I wanted to stop that, I would have to initiate reversing thrust, as you can see. Right? But that, I'm no longer using fuel while I'm in the inertia dampeners off. So a pro tip for a lot of people in their ships is you get up, if you're going 20, 30, 100 kilometers, whatever. Get your ship up to speed, and then turn off your dampeners and just let it drift. But remember, you need to turn your dampeners back on in order to brake. So all the time your thrusters are on or active, you could be using power or fuel or whatever you need. Okay. So that is the left-hand side of it taken care of. Okay, we now know what all that is. That's here. So let me, because I've tabbed out, I can now show you, but there's no sound. So helmet, jetpack, broadcast, lights, and the key above them tells you what you can and can't, what you can toggle them with. Okay. Health, oxygen, and this little icon here tells me I have a bottle in my inventory that I can use. Okay, and this is a numerical indication of how much I have left. O2, power, and hydrogen. Okay, same little icon shows me I have a bottle. So speedo, meters per second there. And notice the dampeners on and off there. Okay, so let's now move to the center here and discuss this block. On the top of the panel in the center is this backpack icon here. This is the indicator bar. As you can see, some of it is highlighted and some of it is grayed out. Okay, this is how much you can carry. You can set that in the settings that we spoke about before, but this indicator bar is just by percentage of how much you can carry. So it will fill up and show you as a percentage. Once it gets close to being filled, it will turn red, and then once you can't carry anymore, when you try and pick something up, there will be an audio warning saying inventory is full. It was very much more of a sexy voice than mine. Down here is your toolbar. Okay, we'll call these tool belts. Toolbar. Yeah, numbered 1 to 9. 0 is open hands. Okay, so we'll press 1 on here. It pulls out the tool that's in the 1 slot, and so on. Okay, so that's how you can switch between things. Now, that gives you 9 options of things that you can have ready to be in your hands. Okay. You also have, if you press Control 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you have 9 different slots. Okay, so you have 9 different bars with 9 different slots. You can have 81 items ready to place down. Now that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't once you get going. Now this is, as you see, this is the item number 1, small number in the boxes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Down here is the indicator of which toolbar you're on. By pressing Control and the number, you can switch between the bars. Okay? Very simple, just gives you quick bars, and you've got a lot of them. Now, here we see 2 squares with a dotted line and the letter N for November below them. This, sorry, I'm about to die. I am in survival because I needed to show you survival, but I will go back to this here, the letter N with the 2 boxes. That's for indicating whether mirroring is on. Mirroring is an advanced creative tool which we won't go into here. It's a lot more complicated. I have a separate video just for that, which I might redo in this vein, but it's very complicated. Here we have a square with 2 rotating lines around it, and the letter F for Foxtrot below it. That is auto rotate. Now, if that's on, so if it's highlighted like so, the game will decide, based on which face you place something on, the rotation that it thinks you want that block to be. Okay, now you can override it, which we'll talk about rotating blocks and everything later on. You can override it. I just prefer to have it turned off. It doesn't really help. Okay, and next to that you have 2 squares. One is fully empty and one has a tiny little dot in the bottom left corner there. Now that's to indicate whether you have a large grid or a small grid block selected. I will discuss what large grid and small grid blocks are later, because it's a bit complex to go into straight away. But just remember, you can change that here. And in order to change it, quickly show you, this is a large grid square armor block. If I press it again, when I'm not pressed up against it, so if I put it on that face, it will try and be a large block because they're already large. If I put it there, look, you can see that's a small one and that's a large one. There you go. Just by pressing the number that it's on, you can switch between small and large. Right? So, let me just, I think there's one last, okay, good. So now there's one more thing to show you on that bar, and that is this part here. Or two more things really. This is your gravity indicator. As you can see, you've got A dash gravity 2.0 G, P dash gravity is 0.0 G. A dash gravity is artificial gravity, so that's generated by gravity generators on board ships and stations, etc. And at the moment, it's 2 times the force of Earth's gravity on this platform. Obviously, there's no zero planetary gravity, and it tends to be a decimal of 1 for planetary gravity, but some planets do have more than 1 times Earth's gravity. Okay, so that's your indicator there with the numbers and the letters. Next to that is your artificial horizon. Okay, as you can see, at the moment it's got a white circle on the surround, 2 little lines across where the diameter is, right across the middle, and then a empty section and a grade section. Right now, it's saying that the grade section is dead level, blah blah blah, right in the center, and that's because I am hovering dead center, dead level. Now, if I was to roll to the left, you can now see, because I'm perpendicular to the ground, my artificial horizon here is now on a perpendicular angle. Yeah, so I'm now at that angle. So this is always relative to the gravity. So that's your artificial horizon. It tells you whether you're looking up, down. You can see it moving there as I face down. It makes the whole screen, the whole circle go filled in grey. If I look up, it helps you find that so you can see that the whole circle is empty. It helps you find true position, because in space it's very confusing when you're up and down, but that helps you. If there's a gravity source nearby, this will help you orientate yourself. Okay, so that's that. Now, controls, very important. Okay, when running around in the game, I'll put this up on the ground, it's WAS and D. Okay, easy as that. And you use your mouse to steer. It's mouse look, WASD, and you press space to jump. That is literally the controls. Now the control system is exactly the same if you're driving a car, except space doesn't jump. Okay, so you can just, to your heart's content, in a car, on a vehicle with wheels, just drive around WASD and use your mouse to look. Okay, simple. Now it gets complicated when you go into space or flight, because you have 6 directions to pick from. I apologise for the cat outside. You also have pitch and roll. So let's get into flight. Now, flight controls are the same if you're in a jetpack or if you're in a ship. So I'll just show you in the jetpack for now. You've got WASD, which is forward on W, braking or reverse on S, go left with A, go right with D. Standard so far. Now here comes the bits you need to figure out a little bit. To roll, you use Q to roll to the left, and you use E to roll to the right. Right? In order to go down, you press C for Charlie. In order to go up, you press the space bar. It's pretty much that is standard. Okay. To move to the left and right, which is turn basically, you use mouse look. To pitch, you use mouse look. So your pitch and yaw are on your mouse. If you look down, you'll head down. If you look up, you look up. If you look left, you go left. And if you look right, you go right. Now you can obviously use a combination of these to go into different directions. And you could, use all of them for flight controls. Okay? And that is pretty much the control system. Now, one last thing I need to tell you. We spoke about dampeners. Now, on a ship, in my jetpack, sorry, I can just fly along and take off the dampeners and I will fly, blah, 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 and then put on the dampeners and it will counter thrust. On a ship, it does require a secondary block called a gyroscope. If it has one of those, and it will perform exactly like that. Dampeners on, counter thrust, dampeners off, it won't. Now, one last thing for controls I want to show you. If you can notice, I'm switching between third person and first person views. That is done with the V for Victor key. Okay? And it's particularly useful if you press down in third person view. You can press down the Alt key, the left Alt key, and you can free look the camera. You can zoom in and out, and you can get a wider perspective. This really helps if you're docking a ship, which we'll talk about later on. So you can zoom around, in and out, up and down, around and about, and get a better camera angle on the thing. Once you release the normal controls apply, right? And there is no center button, really. So the only way to really recenter the camera is to press V and then V again. Okay, so you switch back to first person and then switch back to third. That will then recenter the camera. And that's pretty much it. So you've learned a lot. You've learned about your whole of your HUD. You've learned what all these buttons are for. Helmet, jetpack, broadcast lights, oxygen, health, power, hydrogen, speed, dampeners, backpack, bars, tool slots, bars, which ones you can change, and then these ones which you can toggle some of the features on, gravity, and your horizon. There is one new feature which I forgot to mention on the HUD, which is down here in the red writing. This will tell you the environmental hazards which I mentioned earlier. This wasn't here before. This is a new thing. I'd forgotten about this. So down here you can see freeze. So if my suit runs out of power, I will freeze. Simple. And then there's the O2. There's no oxygen on the outside of the suit in the environment. If you are in an environment which is oxygen rich, your suit will absorb oxygen and replenish your supply. But that's it. Now you understand what's happening on your HUD. You can help control your environment a little bit, and you are ready to start other aspects of this game. So I will say good luck, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Big love. Ta-da.